everyone, welcome to Gallant IAS. So this is Let's Go 120 Plus series where you will see some of the potential areas and model questions for the upcoming prelims. So let's solve one of the questions. Which of the following statements is or are correct about Biological Diversity Act 2002? So the question is asking about the correct statement. This act was brought to realize the objectives of Bonn Convention. It aims at fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising out of the utilization of genetic resources. This act establishes two-tier structure at national and state level only to regulate access to the biological resources. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Now, the question here is asking about, yes, Biological Diversity Act 2002. So, with regard to Biological Diversity Act 2002, you have to keep in mind it was brought in order to realize the objectives under the Convention on Biological Diversity, which is known as CBD or Convention on Biological Diversity. See, it was not brought to realize the objectives of the Bonn Convention. The Bonn Convention is the Convention on Migratory Species. Okay, the Convention on Migratory Species or CMS is also known as Bonn Convention. So here, the first statement is itself wrong. Okay, see, if first statement is wrong, you will directly get your answer, which is option C, 2 only. This is how you can apply the elimination strategy just by knowing a single factual information about this particular act. If you know that Biological Diversity Act was brought to realize the objectives of CBD and not Bonn Convention, then you can directly hit the answer. Anyway, let's move on to the other statements. It aims at fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising out of the utilization of genetic resources. Yes, that is an objective under CBD. Or we can say that Biological Diversity Act 2002 was set up or it was brought in order to meet the objectives or in order to fulfill our commitment towards CBD or Convention on Biological Diversity, which was adopted during the Rio Summit or the Earth Summit of 1992. And the Convention on Biological Diversity, it aims for the conservation of biodiversity, the sustainable use of its components, as well as the fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising out of the utilization of genetic resources. So yes, that particular statement, that particular second statement, it is an objective under, or it is an objective of CBD under which the Biological Diversity Act is being constituted in our country, which means that the second statement is a right statement. So here, yes, C is your answer. Anyway, moving on to the third statement. This act establishes two-tier structure at national and state level only to regulate the access to the biological resources. See, you can identify an extreme word only there, which means you should be aware while dealing with that particular statement. There are chances for it to be wrong. And yes, that particular statement is wrong. Why? Because under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002, there is the provision for three-tier structure. There is provision for three-tier structure at the national, at the state level and at the regional level for the conservation of biodiversity. Okay, which means that here the Biological Diversity Act of 2002 is providing for a decentralized system of biodiversity conservation, which means under this three-tier structure, there is a National Biodiversity Authority at the apex level, there is a State Biodiversity Board at the state level, and we are having a Biodiversity Management Committee at the local level or at the regional level as well. So it is providing for a decentralized biodiversity conservation. Okay, even at the grassroots level, which means we are having a three-tier structure and not only at national and state, Also at the regional or the local level, we are having authority for biodiversity conservation, which means the third statement is also wrong. So that here your answer will be option C, 2 only. So here, this is how in a quick method you can apply the elimination strategy just by knowing the first statement. If you know that the first statement is wrong, then you can easily eliminate option A, B and D and arrive at the answer option C, which is 2 only. So that's it. See you.